I rise today for what will be my final comments before you in this chamber after 16 years. Let me say at the beginning, I will be brief. Anybody anticipating a Marine-like exit, I want to apologize in advance because I simply want to take this time, Mr. Speaker, to thank a few people. In particular, I want to thank my wife, Nan. Many of you know Nan. She's been with me, we've been married 21 years now. She's been by my side here for 16, always supportive, always by my side, and never wavering in her support. As everyone in this chamber knows, none of us do it alone. We all have supportive family, supportive spouses, significant others, and without that, none of us would succeed. So I'm very fortunate to have her by my side. I want to thank my daughter Grace, who was born 2 months after taking office, and who will be a sophomore in high school come the fall. That makes me feel very old. But again, she knows nothing but the State House, and she's been wonderful. I want to thank my daughter Amelia, who 10 short years ago at this very rostrum, we finalized her adoption from Guatemala. One of the most exciting moments of my life, to be sure. But lastly, I want to thank the residents of Bedford, Burlington, and Wilmington for allowing me the opportunity, the distinct honor to represent them here for the last 16 years. It was an interesting 16 years, shall we say, but it was enjoyable, to be sure. The entire thing, day in and day out, I absolutely loved, as you all do, loved coming to this building, loved doing the people's work, loved being engaged in public policy. A couple of weeks ago, when I sent a letter out to my constituents announcing that I was going to resign, I just talked a little bit about why I ran, and I think this will ring true to many of you. 17 short years ago, when I decided to run, the main reason or purpose was a very simple one. It was to help people. And for the last 16 years, I've been able to do that at many levels for many, many people. And that's what brought me back to the ballot every 2 years, was just the ability to help. Now, the public policy piece, as we just took part in today, with regards to the health care law and the economic development law and things of that nature, that is clearly an enjoyable part of the job. The 2 years I spent sitting in room 236, clearly looking back, professionally the most satisfying 2 years of my professional life, no question about it. But again, at the end of the day, when we get elected, when we come to work, when we go to the events, when we go to the Rotary, when we go to Eagle Scout, it's all about helping people. And again, when I think back, as we move on from here, when I think back of my time here, that's what I'm going to remember most, and that's what I'm going to take with me. And again, this is, I'm preaching to the converted, I suspect. That is what many of us do. However, we will all become former representatives at some point in our careers, mine before yours, and I look forward to moving on. And the time is right for me to move on. It's personally, it's a perfect time. I mentioned my daughter, who's going to be a sophomore. College costs are looming. So again, for many reasons, it's time for me to move on. But as I depart, I wish you, my colleagues, nothing but success as you move forward. It's been a tough, challenging few years with the economy the way it is and the global economic meltdown. But we, as a Commonwealth, I think, have stepped up quite well. We've made the tough decisions. We've made some unpopular decisions. And we've made decisions that we have to live with, decisions that we have to live with at home on Main Street, when we're walking the streets and people get in our faces and you have to defend it. But that's the beauty of this building, I would suggest. It's the beauty of us, my colleagues, myself. It's the beauty of doing what we do. And I think the Commonwealth is fortunate to have members of this House, members in the Senate. I think this country is fortunate to have people in every state, whether running for the State House or running for the U.S. Capitol, we're fortunate to have folks who step up, who are willing to put themselves out there, who are willing to make the tough decisions, who are willing to be criticized and move forward, because that's what we do. It's not an easy job. Despite the attention, shall we say, that perhaps that we receive more often than not in the media, we're targets of opportunity. It's never unfortunate. Well, I shouldn't say never, but it's not. It's rare that it's a positive pitch or angle that you read in the media or hear in the media. It's the gotcha. But we know that's part of the gig. We know that when we put our names on the ballot. We know that when we get elected. We know that when we put our hands in the air and we get sworn in for another session. And it's part of the job. But again, I thank you. I wish you all the best of luck as you move forward. I will be keeping a close eye on this chamber because I have a vested interest in just your success. And again, it was an absolute honor for me to have played a small role over the last 16 years and represented the interests to the best I could of my constituents and always tried to stay true to myself. So with that, Mr. Speaker, through you, to my colleagues, again, it has been an honor to serve amongst you, and I wish you nothing but success in the coming session and coming years. Thanks so much.